The House of Ninjas begins with the Tawara family, who are carrying out a dangerous mission to fight the Fuma Ninja clan. The Ninja Management Bureau organization ordered them to investigate a case of mass poisoning on a cruise ship, but it was not easy because they had to fighting other ninja clans. How will they go on this dangerous mission? Let's get straight into the story. At the beginning, we are immediately presented with an exciting battle between Gaku and Haru against the Fuma clan ninjas. They are all struggling on a mission to save a candidate for governor named Mukai. However, Haru is forced to face Tsujioka from the Fuma clan, who has strong fighting abilities. But in the end, Tsujioka was defeated by Haru and begged not to be killed. Because of his good nature, Haru delivers the final blow wisely. Tsujioka stabbed Gaku and pushed him into the sea. 6 years have passed, and Haru is now with Nozaki, showing his skills in delivering drinks at incredible speed. Meanwhile, Naji is infiltrating the museum in ninja style to steal valuables. At his regular restaurant, Haru meets Karen Ituo, a journalist girl. However, their meeting was interrupted by Karen's telephone call regarding a shocking mass poisoning case. Behind this tragedy, Majin and Oki from the secret organization BNM were monitoring the cruise ship. The next day, Haru returns home, meeting his younger brother, Riku, and his grandmother, Taki Tawara, who is also a ninja. Tanky Grandma shows her skill in moving places, leaving Riku fascinated and a little confused. At home, as a mother, Yoko still often looks at Gaku's photos with sadness because she cannot accept Gaku's departure. When news about missing items from the museum appears on TV, Naji smiles because she was the one who carried out the clever heist that was talked about on TV. Their father, Suisi Tawara, turned off the TV and asked Haru to go to the Seiki factory. Suisi hopes that Haru will be the successor to the Seiki business. Meanwhile, Naji gets a call from her friend to go to the museum, while Haru goes to bed after eating. At the dinner table, Riku asks if his family is rich because they live in a big house and enjoy delicious daily food. He also asks if he was adopted because they are a ninja family and only Riku doesn't have ninja abilities like them. Then, their roof tiles leaked. Yoko decides to fix the roof tiles using her ninja skills, jumping on top of the house as if her body were cotton. On the other hand, Soasi saw pigeons coming to deliver a letter, but immediately chased it away without reading the message first. Yoko scolded Suisi for his actions, but Suisi also scolded Yoko for climbing onto the roof in that way. He warned his wife to only climb the house again with a ladder so that their identity as ninjas would not be known to residents, because Suisi wants his family to live a normal life after losing Gaku. While sleeping, Haru had a nightmare about a mysterious masked figure raising a sword as if to kill him, which made him wake up with a panicked face. The scene shifts to Suisi heading to his Seiki factory. There, Suisi received a resignation letter from one of his employees because the Seiki factory was threatened with bankruptcy. The man refused Menjin's request for help to return to being a ninja and wanted to live a normal life. However, when Menjin reveals that his Seiki brewery is losing money and Gaku will be sad to see it, Suisi becomes emotional and wants to kill Menjin. Suisi warns Menjin not to mention Gaku's name, or he will not hesitate to kill him straight away. The storyline shifts to Nagi, who is with her friend, Hyotani. They visit museums to see new collections of items. Naji likes looking at new items in the museum, but suddenly, Hyotani confesses his feelings for Naji. Unfortunately, Naji immediately rejected the young man's feelings because regulations in the ninja world prohibit dating and eating meat. Then Yoko goes to a convenience store and uses her ninja skills to steal items quickly. She kept the stolen goods in her clothes and left them in a market without being noticed. Later that night, a man finds a wallet dropped by a woman at the station. The man tried to return the wallet to its owner, who turned out to be the remaining member of the Fuma clan. The mysterious, dangerous girl is named Sowab. That same night, Nagi sneaks into the museum to steal new items. The next day, the police came to the museum, but did not investigate the theft because the items would be returned after 3 days, according to the message left by the thief. After stealing, Naji goes home and remembers the teachings of her older brother, Gaku. She bought a ninja hang rope and uploaded photos of the stolen goods to Instagram. Next, Haru is working on filling drink cans at the drinking machine. Nozaki asks him about the Haru family's sake factory that he doesn't want to continue with. When Haru was about to get into his car, a mysterious masked figure threw a used can at him from the top. This incident stunned Haru, and he immediately remembered his dream. This time, the mysterious figure immediately disappeared like smoke. Haru is still thinking about the mysterious figure who has suddenly appeared before at his regular restaurant. Karen dared to ask Haru out and asked for his cell phone number. After Karen leaves, Majin meets Haru and reminds him about ninja rules that they cannot date and eat meat. As a ninja Karen, a journalist, could be very dangerous if the girl discovered their identity. Majin was willing to find a worthy girl to be Haru's lover, but the young man ignored him and immediately left. The next day, Soasi requests that Haru take over his sake factory again. However, Haru refuses because, for him, the sake factory is just a front to cover up his family's ninja actions. In the room, Haru remembers the tragedy of the fight that took his brother's life. At that time, Haru fought with members of the Fuma clan. Even though he could beat the man, Haru only injured non-vital parts because of his good nature. Elsewhere, Gaku has killed several members of the Fuma clan, and Suisi also managed to defeat a ninja. However, unexpectedly, a member of the Fuma clan released by Haru stabbed Gaku in the back and then pushed Gaku to fall into the sea. In the present, Haru still remembers Majin's warning not to have anything to do with Karen, even though Haru doesn't heed it. Haru decides to watch Karen from afar. However, Karen sent a message that they couldn't meet that day. On the other places, Yoko was caught red-handed by Majin while stealing goods at a minimarket. Majin warns her and gives her a new mission with the same pay as 6 years ago. Yoko accepted the job offer because of her difficult economic situation. She had to pay her children's school fees and repair the house, which was starting to fall into disrepair. That night, Nadi was practicing sit-ups when she received a message from someone via Instagram message. The message was very strange because her older brother, Gaku, wrote it. Meanwhile, Haru secretly follows Karen, who enters a Halloween event club without her knowledge. On the other side, a young man was wearing a mask given by the Fuma clan's men. He was tasked to kill a journalist who wanted to reveal the cruise ship case. A man wants to tell Karen that there is a perpetrator on the ship with a characteristic yellow flower. However, before he can tell Karen all the information he knows, the masked young man attacks and kills him. When he was about to attack Karen, Haru came to protect her. Haru throws a can at Karen's cell phone to stop Karen from taking the picture. Although Haru only injures the man's arm, he manages to prevent Karen from photographing the incident, allowing the young man to escape. People in the bar panicked and ran out after seeing someone dead. It turns out that the person who killed the young man was someone with a white cloth around his arm. The next day, Reiku saw ninja movements from the Fumakutaro and Hattori Hanjo clans while on a trip. That night, Yoko expressed her desire to work because she needed money, while Reiku told everyone about his interesting travel experiences. They needed clarification about explaining to Reiku because the Fuma clan was the enemy of the Tawara clan. When Reiku dropped the glass, Yoko quickly caught it, making the atmosphere even more awkward. Tenki's grandmother emphasized that a ninja should not attract attention while teasing Yoko. Continued Haru eating with Gaku. After eating, Gaku wanted to go on a mission. He explains that as a ninja, they are destined to kill people, but Haru says he can't do that. Gaku stated that Haru should be able to do what he did to Gaku. However, Haru woke up gasping for breath, realizing it was a dream. At his regular eating place, Haru was visited by Karen. She asked where he was last night at 11 p.m. Karen asks permission to take his photo, but Haru refuses. After that, Karen said that she was attacked while at the club. Haru knew it was his doing and pretended not to know. The next day, Majin is shown at the cultural service in the BM room with an old member known to Q's as a cleaner. Oki shows a video of the passenger's death that he hacked from the police database. There were phone calls asking about the case of the club and the cruise ship. Majin assigns Haru and Yoko to investigate the case. The scene switches to Yoko disguised as an employee making tea and coffee at the cruise ship company office to find the passenger list. However, that list has been destroyed. The scene shifts to Naji telling Kyutani that someone seems to be following him. On the other hand, Scifi is conducting interviews with people applying for jobs. He accepted one of the female employees as marketing staff, Mayuko Mori. Haru meeting Karen. The girl tells a story about someone who wanted to provide information at a club that an unknown person killed. Then Karen invites Haru to journalist Mu's apartment, but the door to his apartment is locked. Haru secretly uses his ninja abilities to open the door. Suddenly, a mysterious man arrives and kills Mu's journalist wife. Karen states that the killer has the same characteristics, a scar on the arm. They were killed because they wanted to uncover the cruise ship incident. The scene then shifts to Riku, who asks about Gaku. Not long after, Tanki's grandmother had a visitor who spoke sign language, so that makes Riku confused. Come back to Haru, who gave a report to mention about the woman whom the same killer at the club killed. Majin says he should have finished, but it's Haru's fault because, as a ninja, he can't kill. Then Majin comes to Yoko to ask for information. Yoko was also unable to provide information regarding the cruise ship passenger list because the staff had destroyed the paper there. Long story short, the scene shifts to Nagi, where one of the policemen stops the museum visitors. One of the police suspected that the perpetrator was a young woman. On the other hand, Yoko eavesdropped on a conversation between one of the staff who was talking on the phone with Mr. Matsura. That evening, Haru met Karen. Karen gave information that there was a new religion led by Yosuke Tsujioka, whose events were held once every month. Then Karen told Haru that when she was little, her journalist father once investigated a cruise ship incident. Then he died in a fire at the hotel. Both of her parents died because of the incident, and she was lucky to survive. When she was 3, she was determined to investigate this case. Come back to Yoko, who was asked to make coffee by the same staff there. Suddenly, an unknown person came and killed the staff. Yoko saw this, immediately rushed to turn off the lights, and a fight between them was inevitable. In the end, the unknown man could escape by jumping out of the window. The scene then shifts to Nagi, who is approached by a mysterious ninja who tricks as if he were Gaku. Here, Gaku deliberately threw his kunai, so that Nagi was confused, and the ninja took the museum collection items that she had just returned. Long story short, Majin and his cleaning team came to the office to check. Majin ordered Oki to collect the destroyed passenger list paper so that it could be reconnected. Then Majin asked Yoko to check on Matsura, whom the staff had just called at the office before he was killed. Come back to Nagi, she couldn't follow the ninja. She decided to go home via the rooftop, and her action was caught by Riku, who wasn't asleep yet and saw from the window. On the other hand, Yoko and Haru attend a new religious event that is currently trending. Tsujioka led this heretical religion. Returning to Nagi, she remembered her past with her brother. At that time, Gaku showed his skill in eliminating his kunai, making Nagi confused by the previous ninja who threw a kunai that exactly belonged to her brother. At the same time, Riku came into her room, asking with her sister to teach him how to become a ninja. Not long after, Nagi received a message from the mysterious ninja, who sent her a photo of the museum's collection and negotiated to exchange it for a scroll. The next day, Yoko and Haru are shown watching the teachings of the new religion. Karen was confused about what made his followers believe in Tsujioka. At the same time, Majin came to watch them from the side. Meanwhile, at home, Scifi said he wanted a photo with his family to illustrate the marketing strategy for his Seiki products. Haru reports yellow flowers in Tsujioka's room. Majin then ordered Haru to infiltrate his room and take the flower. Meanwhile, Yoko is assigned to go undercover to meet Matsura with Join a Matchmaking app. It started with Yoko conversing about the judge's favorite song, which made Matsura interested in Yoko, and Yoko got information from him. On the other hand, Scifi was busy with Seiki production. He was visited by Miyuko, who told him there would be French tourists who wanted to cover Seiki production. As the time went by, their relationship became closer. Haru enters the building where Sugioka's religion is taught. On the other hand, Naji gets a message from the mysterious ninja, again asking for a scroll. At the same time, the police came to interrogate Kyotani. At home, the police asked Riku for information. Riku explained that Naji came home yesterday at 11 p.m. through the house's rooftop. Returning to the religious teaching building, Karen was suddenly pulled by Haru, who was surprised to see her there. Long story short, Haru sent a video of the woman who was killed in his previous apartment. The real fact was revealed that the person who previously killed the woman was the Sowab police. Haru negotiates with him to ask the Yellow Flower not to leak the video. In the evening, Karen told Haru that Haru was keeping something secret from her. Karen wants Haru to open up to her more. After returning home, Haru was asked again about Gaku and whether he was still alive. This question made Haru remember his mistake in not finishing off Ninja Fuma, which resulted in Gaku being stabbed in the back and falling into the sea. The next day, Naji rushes secretly into the secret room to look for the scroll. When she entered the room, she accidentally stepped on a trap. In the end, Naji found a scroll on the ceiling of her room. Here, Haru and Karen are guided by Police Sowab to meet Sugioka. Sugioka shows his ability to read Karen's past, explaining that there was an incident when Karen was little. There was a fire in which her parents died, and only she survived. This confused Karen because her explanation was correct. Then, Sugioka ordered his men to give the sword to Haru and told him to finish off Karen. Haru didn't do that and just untied him. Here, Sugioka discovers that Haru is still the same person, a ninja who cannot finish people. Then, Sugioka gave the Yellow Flower to Karen. After Karen left, Sugioka explained his true self. He was one of the Fuma clan ninjas that Haru didn't kill 6 years ago. Then moved to a large field of yellow flowers. Then it shows a flashback scene when Sugioka stabbed Gaku from behind, and a ceremony was carried out when Sugioka was appointed as the 19th successor of the Fuma clan. Returning to the present, we see Sowab returning home and how shocked he is to see his family dead. On the other places, Karen continued to ask what happened to Haru and why he was being given yellow flowers. Haru replies that he will protect Karen. Meanwhile, Soasi is still busy taking photos of his family to promote his Seiki business. Then it moves to Yoko, who tries to seduce Matsura by complimenting him to get closer with Matsura. Yoko does this to get information from him. Matsura falls in love with Yoko and expresses his feelings. Not long after, Matsura received a call from his superior and just left Yoko. Returning to Haru, Karen explains that the previous survivor of the fire incident was her when she was 3 years old, and one of the bureaucrats who knew state secrets was Karen's father. Karen also begged Haru to explain the truth. Karen also said that she found out that she then opened the cupboard, which had information on various cases, including the case 6 years ago when the governor candidate Mukai was kidnapped, which resulted in many victims. Several photos of ninjas are on display, but the cause of the problem has yet to be found. There are also many photos of his family. Seeing all that, Haru felt disappointed because he first thought his meeting with Karen was just a coincidence. Karen explains that she knows that at the club, Haru was the one who saved her. Karen keeps asking who Haru is. Haru also chose to leave the explanation to Karen. On the other places, Oki has succeeded in matching the paper containing the cruise ship passenger list. Then it is shown that Majin received a call from Suisi, who was angry because Majin gave a mission to his family without his knowledge. Majin explains that Suisi does intend to live a normal life, but whether his family accepts a normal life starts with Haru rejecting the Seiki factory. Naji still hasn't given up her ninja life, and neither does Yoko. In essence, Majin wants Suisi to return as a ninja. Then it switches to Nagi, who wants to give the scroll to the mysterious ninja she met previously. Naji thinks that the mysterious ninja is probably her older brother, Gaku, so she sent her a message. After giving the scroll, Naji wants Gaku to go home. Naji immediately rushed to meet the ninja. Without her knowledge, one of the police was watching Naji's movements. In short, Majin meets Haru and tells him that the Fuma clan has appeared, namely Tsujioka, who leads the clan. Meanwhile, Karen was preparing all the articles and evidence of yellow flowers, which she put in her bag to hand over to her boss. Returned to Nagi, who was still being followed by one of the policemen looking for him. When the policeman checked him, it turned out he was the wrong person. Because Nagi had already gone on the bus first, on the other hand, Yoko is still on her mission to follow Matsuura. Yoko sends a message and tries to send the location for Oki, but unfortunately, her cell phone battery runs out. In another place, Oki has found the perpetrator by matching the destroyed paper from the death of a cruise ship passenger, and it turns out the perpetrator is Matsuura. In urgent times like now, Oki has lost contact with Yoko because her cell phone battery has run out, so Oki asks his colleague to track Yoko. There are vegetables placed on the road as a location guide, which is considered unreliable. Majin also contacted Suisi, but he didn't pick up. Majin rushed to catch the pigeon to send a message to Suisi using the pigeon. On the other hand, Karen wants to meet her boss to provide her article and evidence of Jintenkai, namely yellow flowers. However, Karen was shocked when she opened her bag of evidence, and the article was gone and replaced with an empty bottle. Meanwhile, his cleaning team examines the yellow flowers at Mijin's place. Then the scene shifts to Haru, who is burning all of Karen's articles, and the computer in Karen's house has also been reset by Haru. Back to Yoko, she is still following Matsuura. She leaves a mark on the wall with lipstick, so she can be found easily later. Yoko also changed her appearance by covering her face like a ninja and carrying a knife as a weapon. That night, when he returned home, Suisi made sure that Riku was asleep, and then Granwataki told him to forget that Susi couldn't drink alcohol because he was born a ninja. On the other hand, Nagi, who has arrived at a factory location, meets the mysterious ninja. She exchanged scrolls for these collectibles. Then Nagi took off her mask and showed her face. She thought that the mysterious ninja in front of her was Gaku, her older brother. However, when the ninja removed her mask, to Nadi's surprise, she saw not Gaku, but Sugioka's subordinate from the Fuma clan named Ayam. A fight ensued between them until Nagi was defeated. Yoko still followed Matsuura into the factory. She was confused because Nagi was there. It turns out that the factory already has Fuma clan ninjas led by Matsuura. Matsuura was surprised to see that the person he liked, Yoko, was also a ninja. Meanwhile, there was one of the police who monitored the ninja's actions. In the middle of the fight, Yoko dropped a drum filled with gasoline and then made sparks with her sword, creating a fire barrier around Nagi, so that the ninjas from the Fuma clan had difficulty attacking Nagi, who was unconscious. Come back to Suisi. He wants to try drinking sake, but still can't bear to try drinking it. At the same time, Suisi received a message from Majin via pigeon regarding the whereabouts of the Fuma clan, and his family was involved in a fight with them. So Suisi immediately rushed to get his old ninja clothes from the secret room and to the factory where his family was in danger. When Yoko was cornered, Suisi came to save them and slaughtered the entire Fuma clan ninjas. After the massacre, one of the policemen tried to escape, but the policeman was immediately captured by Oki and drugged by the cleaning team. After that, he was immediately taken away from that place. At Sugioka's place, they cleaned up the building where his heretical religion was located. On the other place, Karen at the train station was suddenly pushed by an older woman and almost hit a passing train. Luckily, at the same time, Haru was there and quickly grabbed Karen. Karen also asked Haru where all the articles and yellow flowers were. Haru answered that Karen had to leave that place immediately because it was unsafe. Karen begs Haru to tell her everything. On the other place, Suisi and his family were on their way home. As they pass through the tunnel, they are confronted by a member of the Fuma clan who wants to give them a message from Sugioka. Their family needed clarification about the message's meaning, but the person said they should ask their son to find out what he meant. Meanwhile, at home, Riku is shown secretly opening a secret room with many ninja tools, weapons, and calligraphy about ninja. Not long after, Teiki's grandmother saw Riku in the room. Long story short, Suisi and his family finally arrived home. They were surprised to see Haru bringing Karen to their house. Suisi asked Haru why he dared to bring a stranger into their house. Haru answered that he was forced to take Karen because the Fuma clan had wanted Karen. At the same time, Mejin and Oki arrive. Like it or not, they have to hide Karen's presence under the table. Oki explains about the heretical religious sect Gentenkai, which turns out to be just a mask for the Fuma clan to recruit new members for their group. When the sect's premises were checked, it was already empty and everyone had fled. While explaining, Oki accidentally dropped his pen. Everyone tensed when he bent down to pick up a pen, but luckily, Karen didn't get caught. Majin and Oki also explained that the yellow flower they examined yesterday contained a substance that could be considered poison because it can damage nerves and contains neurotoxins. Tenki's grandmother explains to Riku that their family is a ninja family. The real fact is that the Tawara clan is just a disguised clan. Their real surname is Hattori. Since immemorial, the Fuma clan has been an enemy of the Hattori clan. Meanwhile, in the wilderness, Sugioka performed a ceremony by distributing cups to all his followers. Some of the cups were filled with poison from yellow flowers, so some of them immediately died from poisoning. For those who survive, they are considered selected people worthy of becoming members of the Fuma clan. Returning to Haru and his family, Majin concludes that the mastermind behind the death of the person who was suddenly poisoned was the result of the actions of Sugioka or Yuma Kutaro 19th. After the explanation session, Suisi asked Haru about the message from the Fuma clan's men, who said thank you for saving him 6 years ago. Haru finally explained the incident 6 years ago. At that time, he had the opportunity to finish off Sugioka, but he couldn't. Sugioka also had the opportunity to stab Gaku, and now leads the Fuma clan simultaneously. Riku already knows that their family is a ninja family, starts to get angry with his parents because he feels differentiated from the others. Suisi and Yoko also explained that becoming a ninja is not as easy as he think. Many rules must not be broken, from dating, eating meat, and risking losing their lives. However, Riku is still determined to become a ninja like all his family. Grandma Taki asked Nagi, was she the one who secretly took the scroll? Nagi was caught red-handed this time and couldn't dodge it, but Grandma Taki accepted it. On the other place, when Sugioka received the scroll, he was angry because it turned out to be fake. At the same time, Suwabe comes to try to take revenge, but his attempt to injure Sugioka fails. The next day, the police who were arrested yesterday by the cleaning team were placed in front of the museum without wearing clothes, and the missing collectibles were placed on his vital organs. He was shocked when he realized the condition of his body. The police at the museum thought it was the naked police who took the missing collection items. Moreover, in the policeman's house, many items from the museum collection were missing. So the poor man was arrested and taken to the police station. That night, Karen went to Haru's room. Karen felt relieved because Haru had told her all the secrets. Karen also asked what was not allowed in ninja. Haru said one of the prohibitions for ninjas is dating and eating meat, but Karen realized that Haru had asked her out on a date and to eat meat several times. Haru explains that he wants to live like a normal person. In the end, they committed immoral acts in their room, even though they knew that the consequence would be that they would be killed. Their actions were secretly discovered by Teiki's grandmother from afar. The next day, Suisi and Yoko disguised themselves as members of the Fuma clan and pretended to attack Majin, then interrogated Matsura by saying that the head of the Fuma clan would order Matsura to be killed if he revealed the goals of his clan. Matsura also said that his clan's goal was an eclipse. In the afternoon, Naji is shown on the beach, sad about Gaku's departure and remembering her childhood with him. After returning home, Riku underwent training as a ninja with enthusiasm. As the afternoon approached evening, Gaku was shown in an injured and disheveled condition while walking home. Luckily, a passing car helped him get to the hospital. Suisi and his family immediately received news that Gaku was still alive. Gaku was cleaned by the cleaning team and questioned about the Fuma clan. Gaku said that when he fell from the ship, he didn't die but was caught in the ship's propeller, and then he was taken to the Fuma clan. That's when he saw a field of yellow flowers. They were confused by Gaku's presence and thought he was a spy for the Fuma clan. Long story short, Majin took Gaku back to their house. All family members were very happy to see Gaku, who was still alive. Currently, Gaku's right leg is so disabled that he is forced to use a prosthetic leg. Only Teiki's grandmother looked at Gaku with suspicion, so Teiki's grandmother checked a scroll still stored in a secret room. Then we show Haru introducing Karen to Gaku. On television, there is a news broadcast regarding the Mukai kidnapping case. Meanwhile, from afar, Soabe is being watched by two of the Fuma clan's men, one of whom is an older woman who pushed Karen at the train station. Then, while in his room, Haru gets a call from Sawab, who says he wants revenge. Haru also asked Sawab must know what the eclipse means in the Fuma clan. Sawab was also asked to meet Haru in Odawara. The conversation between them was discovered by Gaku, who was eavesdropping secretly. Tenki's grandmother told everyone that there was a traitor in their house. In the training room, Gaku invites Haru to compete. Haru could only cry for Gaku because he couldn't finish off Sugioka, so Gaku was stabbed. The next day, Majin orders Oki to install bugs in Suisi's house to keep an eye on Gaku. Majin explained that Eclipse is a term in the Fuma clan whose goal is mass murder. Long story short, Suisi and Yoko were assigned to the Fuma clan headquarters. When they arrived, they were surprised because there were no yellow flowers. Yoko also remembered that they passed a truck that was probably carrying yellow flowers on their way. On the other hand, Haru went to get his ninja uniform and wanted to go on errands. Meanwhile, Karen's conversation with Haru before leaving is discovered by Oki, who has bugged the house. That night, Gaku checked the Room of Secrets because he wanted to take a scroll, but the scroll was no longer there because Teiki's grandmother had previously taken it. Come back to Haru sneaking into the house of one of the Fuma clan members. He finds a paper containing the Fuma clan's goals regarding the eclipse in that house. Then, Haru contacted Sawab to meet him. On the other places, Suisi and Yoko are following a truck carrying flowers. Meanwhile, at home, Nagi, who hasn't slept yet, hears Gaku come out of the house, so Nagi follows him. Gaku is shown meeting Sawab, and the fight between them begins. In the end, Sawab had to be killed by Gaku. From afar, Nagi has seen all of Gaku's actions. The scene also shows a flashback when Gaku fell into the sea and got caught in the ship's propeller. When he regained consciousness, he saw that his right leg was paralyzed. Suddenly, Sugioka appears to congratulate Gaku on surviving the terrible battle. Gaku immediately tried to escape from Sugioka's presence, but when he left the tent, he was surprised to see that everyone in front of him was a member of the Fuma clan. Sugioka told Gaku to go back to rest, but that night, even though it was raining heavily, Gaku still tried to escape from that place using a stick. Because he found it very difficult to escape with his paralyzed condition, Gaku thought about committing suicide with his kunai. But Gaku's actions were stopped by Sugioka. Seeing that his biggest enemy was before him, Gaku immediately begged Sugioka to kill him. Sugioka ignored Gaku's request, instead taking him to the grave of a woman whom Gaku killed on orders from BNM. Gaku also explained that he was only carrying out his duties. Sugioka said that the woman's mistake was simply falling in love, but she was killed because of a scandal in politics. Sugioka said, "Is that what is called justice?" Sugioka thought the rulers had used ninja to serve them, so Fuma rebelled. Long story short, Gaku lives a normal life with the Fuma clan. One day, Ayam tried to use her skills to eliminate Gaku's kunai. Ayam also apologized to Gaku for taking his things without permission. Gaku says if Ayam likes the kunai, she can take it. Ayama knows it is a hereditary item belonging to Gaku's family, but it turns out that Gaku no longer wants it. In the night, they all held a special ceremony. It can be seen that Sugioka appointed Gaku as his deputy, earning him the nickname of the Crow from the Fuma clan. Then they made a blood oath as a sign of loyalty. Back to the present, Haru calls Sawab, but doesn't pick up because Sawab is dead. Haru went home. He was confused when he didn't find Karen at home. Meanwhile, Riku is still undergoing training as a ninja taught by Teiki's grandmother. Riku looked like he was getting bored because he kept repeating the same movements repeatedly. He wanted to try learning the shuriken throwing movement, but Teiki's grandmother said he needed to wait another 10 years before he could learn it. Haru came over to them to ask Reiku where Karen was. Reiku answered that Karen had been out since this morning. Then Haru called Karen, but it was Majin who answered the phone. Knowing this, Haru immediately met Oki. Then we show Karen, whom the cleaning team has kidnapped. On the other hand, Nagi, who saw Gaku's action, returned home. Then, Gaku met her and said he was not a member of the Fuma clan, and accused Sawab of being a member of the Fuma clan. Gaku was forced to lie to Nagi so he wouldn't be found out. Gaku goes to see Ayam secretly and explains why he tricked his sister. Tsujioka arrives, saying his only goal is the scroll. Gaku says the Fuma clan promised not to harm his family. Come back to Haru, he captures Oki and brings him in front of the Majin. Haru begs to let Karen go and will bear all the consequences. Then Majin assigned him to finish off Tsujioka, and if Haru didn't meet Karen again, he would forgive them both. Haru also asked to meet Karen one last time. He said goodbye, and then Haru went to carry out his duties. Continues with Suisi, who is still with Yoko infiltrating Tsujioka's factory. They saw the entire factory staff mixing poison made from yellow flowers. Long story short, that evening at home, Tanki's grandmother was enjoying eating a hamburger, and Reiku was no longer allowed to eat meat because he wanted to become a ninja. At the same time, the Fuma clan's men came to their house to take the scroll. One of the Fuma clan's men had turned off the Wi-Fi modem so Tanki's grandmother couldn't contact the others. So Tanki's grandmother prepared a bow trap that killed one of them. Then Fuma's other men tried to stab Nagi's mattress because they thought Nagi was sleeping, but here Nagi was ready to finish them off. Ayan was angry because Nagi had given them the wrong scroll. A fierce battle could not be avoided. Both sides launched counterattacks to defeat their opponents. Grandma Taki was annoyed because her body odor was easily detected, even though she had just eaten a hamburger. Taki's grandmother decides to use a smoke bomb and escape from them. When they were increasingly pressed, Gaku came to prevent Ayam from finishing them off. For their safety, Gaku asked them to hand over the scroll. Gaku's attitude disappointed them because the young man had betrayed and sided with the enemy. Not long after, Haru returned home and saw that the house was chaotic. He asked what had happened. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Kuz asks Karen to forget all the events she has seen, especially about the Haru family house. Before releasing Karen, he warned the girl not to return home for a while because the Fuma clan was still after her. Suisi and Yoko, who were infiltrating the factory, saw Gaku handing over their family scroll to Tsujioka. As parents, they were shocked and disappointed because it meant that Gaku had become a member of the Fuma clan. For the safety of her family members, Grandma Taki and Riku went to a friend's place to ask for help. On the way, they were followed by a middle-aged woman who was assigned to kill Karen at the station. When she realized that they were being followed, Taki's grandmother immediately used an ability that had been dormant for a long time. So, in a short time, Taki's grandmother managed to kill the woman. Haru and his family got ready, dressed as ninjas, took weapons from his old weapons room, and headed to the Tsujioka factory. After that, they stopped the truck carrying the Fuma clan's flowers. Haru paralyzes the truck driver to hijack the car, but unexpectedly, the truck contains several of the Fuma clan's men, so they get involved in a fight. Meanwhile, Nagi tries to infiltrate the factory to secretly turn off the electricity there. Then Nagi infiltrated the factory to check the cardboard containing yellow flower powder. At the same time, the Fuma clan members discovered her actions. When they wanted to attack Nagi, Haru and his family suddenly came, so the fight broke out again. In the middle of the fight, they see Gaku's presence above, so Haru rushes after Gaku. Gaku explains to Haru that he can live freely after joining the Fuma clan. He no longer needs to be bound by the regulations of the organization or BMM. Then, Gaku intends to invite Haru to join the Fuma clan, but Haru refuses and wants to invite Gaku to come home with him. Due to differences of opinion, Gaku challenges Haru to fight with him. Finally, Gaku managed to corner Haru, but Haru turned the situation around again and paralyzed Gaku. Then, Haru opened a room inside, which was shrouded in smoke. Inside the room was Tsujioka waiting. Haru sees Sugioka's illusion of three people in the foggy conditions, and a fight between them begins. Sugioka's movements were so fast that he couldn't see where he was coming from. The foggy situation made it increasingly difficult to see where the enemy was coming from. Meanwhile, Nagi, Suisi, and Yoko need help facing many Fuma clan men. When the enemy all increasingly pressed them, suddenly, the help of other ninjas came who claimed to be the guardians of the Devil's Gate. Perhaps they were messengers from Teiki's grandmother's friends. While they were fighting, Suisi was shocked when he realized that one of the ninjas from the relief team was Miyuko, an employee who had just entered his factory. Come back to Haru, who tries to focus on hearing so that when Sugioka wants to attack him from behind, Haru immediately reverses the situation, causing Sugioka's arm to break. Sugioka tries to pass the time by explaining that the eclipse will free many people in the country. Then Sugioka tried to throw a kunai at Haru, but Haru realized it and immediately pointed the sword at Sugioka. When Haru wanted to kill Sugioka, Gaku suddenly appeared and immediately stabbed Sugioka until he died. As a good ninja who never kills, Gaku advised Haru to stay like this. Then Haru runs out of energy and can't stop Gaku from leaving. The next day, Menshin and Oki come to Haru's family house. They congratulated them on the success of their mission to prevent the Fuma clan from spreading poison through yellow flowers. Then Majin asked about the shuriken he found because he knew that the Fuma clan and the Haru family had never used the shuriken. Majin also advised that Gaku has become a fugitive, so for now, they will be monitored so they don't secretly help Gaku. Before Majin left Haru's place, the young man asked Majin whether he knew the meaning of the eclipse, which was the mission of the Fuma clan. Majin answered that at this time, he still didn't know what the eclipse meant. Then it cuts to Karen, who sees the TV news about the 4 presidential candidates. Candidates and party members will attend a meeting at the Tokyo Hotel in the night. Karen also remembered the Fuma clan's mission, namely the eclipse. Karen immediately ran to the hotel. At the same time, the sun had appeared. Karen saw Ayam, who was preparing her plan by putting poison in all the drinks. Karen immediately went to Mukai and told everyone in the room to immediately evacuate themselves and leave the hotel. But no one wanted to listen to her. The security guard even dragged out Karen. When the event started, they all toasted to drink, but suddenly, they all fell dead due to poisoning from the drink. The cleaner was shocked to hear the news about the poisoning. It was revealed that the true meaning of the eclipse was a mission to kill all presidential candidates and their members during the full moon. The media on TV broadcast news of the incident and reported that the only survivor was Mukai. Teiki's grandmother, who saw the news, seemed familiar with the Mukai clan, mainly Sakaki. In the evening, Mukai met Gaku and Ayam, and then she paid respects to Gaku, now the 20th leader of the Fuma Kutaro clan. Gaku explains why they insisted on taking a scroll. Because the scroll contains the Hojo clan's lineage, it is shown that the last Hojo descendant is Tokosakaki, so Gaku knows that Mukai has been hiding her identity as a Hojo descendant all this time. Then Ayam ordered Mukai to submit as the puppet of the Fuma clan. At this moment, we know that Gaku is ambitious to change his country. The next day, Riku undergoes ninja training with Teiki's grandmother, while Haru does his final work with Nozaki. Now, Haru is willing to continue his father's Seiki factory. Meanwhile, Karen can only look at Haru's photo, but not meet him because of Majin's prohibition. The film ended.